Hi, I'm Cynthia Ye, the principal percussionist of the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. I picked Leonard Bernstein's West Side Story on vibes because it's actually quite a complex instrument that I find to be neglected by a lot of young players. Yes, the vibes is a mallet instrument, but there are so many options for colors, inflections, and nuances. And mainly it comes from not just your hands playing the notes, but also your feet doing the pedaling, the subtleties of that, and also mallet dampening with your other hand that's not playing the note. West Side Story is the modern-day Romeo and Juliet. It is a tragic love story. The first excerpt I played is called The Meeting Scene. The very first bit of this excerpt is to take the audience into the space. Now we're just the two of them. You take a breath and it's Maria. That's her theme. That's what he's been singing about. And then you can hear that it's very kind of passionate, and then the major chords of the ya-da-da-yum is young, innocent, but still hopeful. But then the very next thing that comes in is ya-da-da-yum. It's this minor, even they know that this is probably not going to work out. So the second and third lick are both from Cool, and that's the scene right before the rumble. So the guys are meeting, they're in a group, and they're telling each other to keep it cool. So to me, that is a lot of anticipation of amped up energy, but you're trying to contain it. It's before the drummer starts. It's just you. And the little accent pops are literally in the voice parts. They're, fake hitting each other. So these where the pows are coming. So, there's just that energy you kind of have to create in that second lick. And then the third lick, by the time that comes in, you've got the drummer going on the hi-hat, and it's very intense. And this is not about perfectly placed dotted eighth note, 16th note. It's very much swung, and it just needs to be fat on the backside of the beat so that you're still reining in the energy and not really letting it go, even though it's going. Mistake number one that I see the most with a lot of young percussionists is that the pedal is either on or off. But it's on a spring. It's spring-loaded for a reason. There are so many different nuances. The damper pedal right here that's connected to your foot pedal does not need to always be all the way off or all the way on. And you'll notice that I flutter pedal a lot on my foot just because I want to get some of it out, but not all of it, so it creates something that is quite connected. And then, of course, the mallet dampening also allows you to have very selective notes ring while others don't ring. And then you'll notice sometimes that I really pick up my foot. It kind of reminds me of a saxophone player that bites the end of their note and just has a really short bite to it. So it's not about the pedaling, it's not about all these things, but it is the pedaling that creates all these moods. And, I know that for young students, the very beginning, they're worried about articulation, but this is not about articulation. This is not about evenness. This is not about any of that. It is about setting the scene. And it's not something where someone told me this is exactly how you get the sound. You move your hand this way and you move your foot this way. It's actually, well, I want this to be this scene. So how do I blur notes? How do I get less articulation? How do I create tension? How do I create bite? And if you don't spend some time on the vibes on a very regular basis, it's not a technique that just comes.